Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and hello if you're new here. My name is Ngozi and welcome to Discover Ngozi, where I post reviews, vlogs, sit down videos, basically a bit of everything. So this video, as you can see from the title, is for all my international honeys. Well, not just international, anyone who is doing their life in the UK test. So I recently just passed mine, yay me, because I passed on my second try. But this video, I'm gonna give you all my tips and tricks, and I feel like with these tips you can increase your chances in passing first time, because I feel like I should have passed first time if I knew what I know now. So you're doing your life in the UK test. You might be doing it because you want to do your indefinite leave to remain, or you're doing a different type of visa, or you're trying to do your citizenship. Whatever reason you're doing your life in the UK test, I'd say the number one step, you should download the app. This app right here, I'm going to put it right there. This app helped me a lot. There's loads of resources online. There's books, there's audios, there's so many things you can study from, but I'd recommend this because it has the latest questions and I found it really helpful. So on that app, you'll see that there's 51 practice questions. What I did was in the 6 weeks leading up to my exams, I did 10 practice questions a day. So obviously if it's 51 total and you're doing 10 practice questions a day, that means you could be done doing all 51 in exactly a week. So that's what I did first. I'd recommend you start doing the practice questions at least no less than 4 weeks before your exam. After you do that, what I started, after doing the 10 a day for 7 days, I started doing mock tests, 6 mock tests every single day towards my exam. This is the best way, in my opinion, to cover the content. If you think about it, the Life in the UK test, they choose 24 random questions out of a possible of over 1,200 questions. So it's a lot of things to cover, a lot of things to remember. So this method really helped me crunch the time and help me to cover everything I needed in the time. So that's my first tip. Download the app. Second tip, do 10 questions a day, 10 practice questions a day. And when you've exhausted the 51 practice questions, start doing mock tests every single day. I don't recommend that you read an entire book or read anything in entirety. Don't do that, because there's already so much to remember. You want to be remembering the things that are important. So I wouldn't recommend reading a whole chapter or reading the whole chapters. I don't think that's a smart way to do it. By the way, guys, if I'm squinting, it's because I literally cannot see shit. I'm not wearing my glasses because I hate when the light is reflecting, and I can't be able to put on contacts because I can't be bothered. So if I'm squinting, that's why. But if I'm not, thank God. So yeah, that's my first tip. What else? Another thing I would say as well is write things down. One mistake I made when I was failing questions, I was writing the corrections on my laptop. The kind of learner I am, things enter my brain when I write it down. So what I did was, after I exhausted all the 51 practice questions, every time I did a mock test, all the questions I failed, I would write it on a sticky note so that I remember it. So I would recommend writing all your corrections down so that you can have a look at it. If you can type and still remember stuff, that's fine. But for me, that didn't work for me. So I'm going to talk about some common questions that came up in my exam. The first time I took it, I got 17 out of 24 and I failed by 1 mark, because the pass mark is 18 out of 24. So you get a paper when you fail telling you how many you've got wrong, and I dropped 7 marks. And I really think the reason I failed first time was because I started working halfway through revision and my time just got discombobulated. It got really, really hard to balance revision and work and YouTube. Everything just got hard. So I think that's why, because I only dropped by 1 mark. So the pass mark is 18 out of 24. You book your test online. You can use the gov.uk website. There's other websites you can use as well, but I say the most secure one is gov.uk website. It's anything from 50 to 75 pounds, or maybe even 80, depending on the availability and depending on the day. And that's what I was gonna say as well. Before you even start revising, make sure you've booked your exam for at least 1 month before you're aiming to submit your visa, so you have enough time. Okay, so common questions. Let's get straight into common questions. I watched a bunch of YouTube videos before I did my exam, and almost every single YouTube video I watched, the questions they said actually came up. So Questions that come up a lot are the national flowers. They ask questions about like England's national flower, Scotland, Ireland, Wales. So you have to know those ones. They also ask questions about the Battle of Boyne is a very big historic thing that happened. So they ask questions about the Battle of Boyne and Battle of Britain. They also ask questions, very easy questions like who did Queen Elizabeth marry and stuff like that. So make sure you know the basic. Make sure you know the food. Make sure you know national foods in England, Scotland, Wales, and Ireland. These are very important. Even the second time I took the test, the food came up the second time, so clearly it's quite important. Other common questions that come up as well: poems, poets, things about Shakespeare and the Elizabethan period. Make sure you know all those things about. You might think it's not that important, it's just a poem. No, it's important. Things like it's left my head, Canterbury Tales. Make sure you know who that's written by. So I'd say the flowers questions, the food questions, the questions about poetry, the questions about the battles and the wars and all the kings, House of Tudor, House of Lancaster, those things always come up. So I say make sure you revise it. So other than the app, another thing I did, I also practiced mock tests on this website. I'll put either a picture or the link of the website on the screen. So other than the app that I used, I also used a couple websites. These are the 2 websites I used, and they helped me as well. And the questions were dips. One thing as well is they might ask the same question, but they might word it differently. So make sure when you're studying, you're not cramming. Make sure you're actually understanding, because I made the mistake of cramming. So for example, they will ask haggis is the national food where, and then I would know, okay, it's this country. Whereas like if you just cram it, you know it's just there. But then when they say in this country, where is what is the national food, like if you just crammed it, you wouldn't know the answer. Whereas if you actually made sure you understood the explanation, you would get it. So make sure you're not cramming. Make sure you actually know what you're talking about and what you're writing. Don't second doubt yourself, because oh god, it still hurts till this. Actually, it's fine now because I've passed now. But one thing I did, there was one question that came up in my first life in the UK test exam about British designers, and they said who is the most famous British designer for Art Deco ceramics. And initially I put Clarice Cleef, but then I second guessed, and then I put Alexander McQueen. And then when I left the exam and I saw that I failed, I searched the question on Google and it was Clarice Cleef, and that was the question that I was so unsure about. So imagine if I just trusted myself first time, I would have made 18 out of 25, and I wouldn't have had to pay for a second exam. So don't second guess yourself. When you feel something in your gut and you remember you've studied it, just go for it. Like don't put something that you've never seen before. Don't doubt yourself too much, because it's multiple choice. It's so easy to second guess yourself, but avoid doing that, because that one mark could really be the mark that fails you. So make sure you don't second guess yourself. But yeah guys, I really hope these tips helped. Let me know what you guys think of this video. If you want me to add on anything, I'm happy to do that, because I just passed recently, so it's still fresh in my brain. And like I said, this kind of videos helped me, so I want to obviously help you guys as well. So just important things to remember: the cutoff mark is 18 out of 25, but always aim 24, sorry, always aim for full marks when you're doing the mock test. The app is a great way. The app is a great way to study. The websites are a great way to study as well. Don't read any books. Don't read books, because that's too much things to put in your head. Make sure you're understanding and not cramming. But let me know if you guys found this video helpful. I really hope I've helped someone. Like I said, these videos really helped me whilst I was doing mine. I'm tired of literally not being able to say anything, so if you've seen the reflection, whatever. But thank you guys so much for watching this really quick video. I didn't want to make it too long, just want to go straight to the point. Love you all, and see you guys next week. Bye.